Hello everybody. Oh, I'm trying to set up my camera. Oh, shall I do it from down here? Hello everybody, my name's Ray and as per the name I love to read and I just got back from Italy. I have made sort of bits of videos about reading in Italy while I've been out there. Some of the audio is a little bit echoey in terms of the accommodation I was staying in, and some of the footage of my holidays is very, very badly spliced together. But this is what I got up to. Cafe holding your book. How many cannoli is it socially acceptable to order? Asking for a friend. I love how they've given us 2 plates because this is for me. Tiramisu take 2. I'm just going to do it from here so I don't have to mess around with phone angles. You get quality content here. Anyway, so here are the books that I brought with me to Venice. You may need to turn the volume up a little bit because the flat was very echoey. Jiro Taniguchi's Venice, which is billed as a graphic novel, but it's more a picture book. And it's basically about this gentleman who finds some pictures of his grandparents and his mum and goes wandering around Venice trying to find where the pictures were taken. And it's basically just made up of really, really beautiful watercolours. And it's part of a series, I believe, various different artists, various different cities. And they're really, really beautiful. I bought this when I was in Edinburgh and I was just taken by the artwork. It's strange because the artwork is gorgeous, but it is all very pastel. It's all very watercolour, and see, there's a nice one. But it did get me in the mood for having a look around. 2 books that I've chosen specially for the Italy trip. So one is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Now, I resisted reading this one for a very, very long time. First because it's book 1 of 4, and if I'm not sure I'm going to like a series, it seems like a big commitment, because even if you finish the first one, it kind of feels like you haven't finished the whole lot. I like this cover a lot better, but I really wasn't drawn to the original UK cover. I don't know if it's the original one. It's got kind of family on the front and it all looks, yeah, it didn't look like my sort of thing. This one's a lot better, and also I've heard fantastic reviews across the board, really. So although it's set in Naples, which is a lot further south, yeah, that one I've been hearing nothing but good things about. And the other one I've chosen is one I'm reading for a book club. I say a book club, it's just me, my mum and my mum's friend. But we're a proper book club, I'm counting us. We have proper meets and everything. But we picked this one by Elizabeth von Arnim. It's called The Enchanted April. And I just read the blurb and it looks fantastic. It's about a group of different women answering an ad to rent a medieval castle on the Italian Riviera. And it's one of those that's, you know, probably going to be heartwarming. Again, heartwarming's not usually what I go for, but I'm excited to know where this goes. And then back out around Venice, which is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in the world. It's actually one of the few places that was just as good in real life as it looked on all the pictures and films. What a place. Welcome to my new house. Hello everyone again. So I've just had my first full day in Venice and it is such a beautiful city, even though it rained on us pretty much all day. And one of the things I found is that this is a city that loves its stationery shops. And I managed to find a couple of absolutely beautiful ones. So first of all, there was Scriba, which was selling these beautiful, and I'm not exaggerating, these are gorgeous leather-bound notebooks. And look how big it is! I've been wanting one this big for ages, but I haven't found anyone that makes them chunky enough. And I also got, this one's got like a leather spine, but it's got like a marble paper effect on the front. And they're just such good quality. They're absolutely beautiful, and the staff were all absolutely lovely. And I think you can order online as well, so definitely check them out. If big leather-bound notebooks aren't your thing, they do little ones as well. They're so cute, and yeah, it's just a beautiful city. I just can't emphasize that enough. And the other stationers that we found is one called La Carta, again, which was by one of the waterways, and I did get a couple of notebooks from there as well, because I mean this is what happens every single time my friend and I come to Italy, is I nearly make us late for the cultural stuff we're supposed to be doing by finding notebook shops. It's a little bit of a tradition now, but look, aren't they gorgeous? And great souvenirs as well. But the thing I got from there that I really loved was these tassel-y bookmarks with images of Venice on them, and they're just such beautiful items. And my mum and I have got this long-lasting discussion about whether or not tassels are brilliant or unnecessary. I'm definitely team tassel. I think everything is better with tassels on. They're pointless, they're frivolous, but they're so tactile and they make everything look beautiful. So yes, I shall. I mean, I'll probably end up just using bits of old receipts as my bookmarks, but theoretically I could use these as bookmarks. Anyway, let's see what we get up to tomorrow. So I think this is the area that we're staying, basically. This is just down the road from us. I'm just really pleased I've managed to identify somewhere in the Venice book that's probably what we've seen. So as you can see from the badly spliced together filmage I've been doing, we've been all over Venice and it's been lovely. There are a lot of things here to buy, especially if you like books, especially if you like paper. I even went a little bit overboard at the Pandora shop, which is again quite tradition for when I when I find them, because they have exclusive charms that are only available in that particular country. It's no excuse. So yeah, still been eating a lot, still been walking a lot, and now I've got really sore feet. So I'm going to put my feet up and do some reading. I've been making progress with the Enchanted April, which is about these ladies who go and take possession of a medieval castle in Italy, and I'm getting into it. We've been introduced to the characters now. They're quite quirky, and I'm hoping it's going to be, like I say, a nice heartwarming tale, but goodness knows where the story's going, because I have no idea what they're planning on doing once in said Italian castle. I started My Brilliant Friend as well, which is, yeah, it's again, it's going back to childhood, and she's introducing her friend Lila, who as we find out very early on, has disappeared. So I'll be very interested to see how that pans out. Although, like I said, it is one of 4, so I don't know how much resolution there'll be in the first book, or whether it's one of those that you have to read as a quartet. So, right, I am going to now put my feet up and get some reading done. After Venice, I moved on to Brescia, and that's where I met up with some of my friends, and they took us out to Verona, they took us out to Iseo, which is where one of the gorgeous lakes is, and we had a beautiful, fantastic time there too. And I did manage to squeeze in a bit of reading. Oh, it looks really good.
With the person that you love.
The job of somebody to
So I think I'm getting better at taking these establishing shots of Italy and my holiday, but because we've been doing so much fun stuff, I've hardly had time for reading. I mean, I've been sneaking in a few cheeky half hours before bed, and I'm reading, like I say, I've mainly been reading the Italian, the book set in Italy. So My Brilliant Friend is, so far, reads like a biography, and I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out that this was just the story of someone's life, because it feels very, very real. All the things that happen and that the character is worrying about and feeling, it all feels very, it rings true, which is, you know, it's quite a rare thing in a book to get that, and it makes a very successful kind of character-based story. So I think I'm about a third of the way through it. I've raced through it. It's been very a very good, a very engaging read that just kind of pulled me in gradually. The Enchanted April, I find the prose a bit chewier. Sometimes the sentences, I have to read them a couple of times to figure out, you know, I'll read it and I'll be, is that grammatically correct? And then it kind of is. Basically, it's the ladies have arrived in their medieval castle, and they're all talking about how wonderful it is to be in Italy, and I completely concur with that. This place is absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to be very, very sad to leave. It's magical, as you can probably tell from all the little photo montages. I've been having a great time. So yeah, I'll catch you later. You know, the only negative thing I would say about going to Italy is that I haven't had a cup of tea in over a week. You can get tea in Italy. It's not, I mean, the coffee's just so good that you don't. But I'm sat here in my garden with a cuppa, and I'm still reading, sorry, try not to spill that. I'm still reading My Brilliant Friend, and I've not got that much left to go. And it's turning out to be quite an absorbing, easy to read book. So I'm immediately ordering 2, 3 and 4, and I will review it shortly. So now I'm back in the UK, and I've been desperately trying to find coffee and hang out in as many coffee shops as possible. I'm still in that kind of holiday mode, and I think until I get back to work next week I'm still going to be feeling like that. So the 2 books set in Italy that I read, I've now finished them both. One I loved a lot more than the other, and my favourite of the 2 was obviously this one, My Brilliant Friend. The only thing I would say against this is it doesn't stand alone. So if you read the first one, you've pretty much got to read the next few, and I haven't even read the next few, but I know you have to read them because it doesn't feel like a complete work. But what it does feel like is a fantastic portrayal of these characters growing up in Naples. You really get a feel for the kind of fiery community, everyone's in each other's business, there's this kind of almost honour-like way of dealing with conflict where, you know, there's a lot of violence, a lot of kind of feuding, but also kind of, you know, grand reconciliation gestures as well. It's very interesting because it's obviously completely different from completely alien to my own experiences, but the characters are they feel very real. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually turned out to be the author's actual life. I feel like it just has that ring of truth to it. The writing is beautiful. You just get absorbed into the narrative because it feels real, and it's not even like much happens. It's just, I mean, stuff does happen, but it feels like life. It's just full of life, and I really loved it, and I can see why everybody gives it such puts it on their list and recommends it, because it was super, and to read it in Italy was an absolute privilege. The other book I was reading, now I think this one suffers from being written in the 1920s, and I feel that it didn't really do what it said on the tin, because when you start out in this book, you've got some ladies going away, and you think it's going to be a story about them finding independence, finding joy, enjoying some sunshine, and just kind of connecting with each other, really. And I thought it was going to be really, you know, kind of one of those really life-affirming reads. Stop the video now if you're going to read this one, because I'm gonna get a little bit spoilery. Not massively spoilery. I'm not going to tell you everything that happens, but if you do want to keep it, I am going to to talk about the actual content now. And my problem with this book is, I mean, don't get me wrong, the characters are very irritating. They're very flawed. They're very selfish. They're very preoccupied with their own stuff. None of them are kind. None of them are, you know, kind of, with the exception of one of the characters who is extremely annoying. So, you know, it's difficult to kind of root for them. And then the husbands start turning up, and my goodness, these blokes are awful. Like, they're just, they're pompous, they're users, they're bullies, they're just awful people. And instead of this being a kind of, you know, it's the moral of the story seems to be that when you go to Italy with an awful husband, it'll make it all seem, you know, worthwhile. And my goodness, I wanted these women to just realise that they're better off without these blokes. Seriously, they're deceptive, they're, you know, full of their own, and it also makes you feel like, because the female characters are flawed as well, but it makes you feel like they not only have to, you know, work on themselves and their own business, but also kind of their husbands as well. Yeah, it wound me up. And I know it's of its time. In the 20s, there's a lot more of a kind of focus on marriage and making do. Kind of just coming out of, you know, they'll have grown up with very Victorian attitudes. But for a book that started out so promising, I was expecting this to go in a completely different direction, and there are some brilliant descriptions of what it's like on the Italian Riviera. Lots of flowers, lots of sunshine. So from that point of view, yeah, I can see why people like it, but it really was not for me, and it just bummed me out. It bummed me out, guys. But like I said, I finished that when I came back into the UK, so it actually didn't start getting annoying until I came back off holiday. So that's that. Anyway, I miss all my friends already. I miss Italy already. And I want to go back. I'll catch you soon for another video. Take care.